working on my Camaro, my 2010 Camaro SS. It's got the 6.2 liter in it, and it is in a need of a tune-up. It's got 36,000 miles. I don't think the plugs have ever been changed, so I'm going to go ahead and change them today. So we're going to get ready to work. Let's get into it. So today we're going to put in new coils, new wires, new spark plug wires, and spark plugs. So I got this car, I would say, in July last year, in 2022. So I got this car. It was a big pain in the neck for me to try and get this car. Not that it was a big hassle in the process, it's just it was me working so hard to get this car. This has always been my dream modern car, I would say. I don't really like newer cars, but if I had to pick, this would be my favorite modern car. I'm going to say this because it's got a 6.2 liter LS3 376 in it. It's not like my truck with the 8.1 torque monster, but let me tell you, it's got a 6-speed manual, and when you put that thing in first gear, it launches. It's going. It's ready to go. So this is the SS, the Super Sport. So it comes with the 6.2. You can get it with an option of a manual transmission. You can get the track option for the SS and the Z71. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Z71 because I think that's not my type of thing. I'm always the older kind of car guy. So, you know, the old 69 Camaros, 68 Camaros with the SS. You know, that was one of the biggest muscle cars that Chevy made, other than the Chevelle and the Nova, the Chevy, or the Chevy 2, you know, all those awesome cars back in the day. I always loved the Camaro. The Camaro was always ready for track. That and the Chevelle. I mean, sure, you can do it in the Nova too, but who wanted to do that, right? Camaro was always the one that always had the bigger engine. So, today, we're going to do the coils. It's not that it needs new coils. I always like to replace, especially since it's a newer vehicle. You know, if you're going to replace spark plugs, you might as well replace the wires. And if you're going to be adding, you might as well replace the ignition coils. So, let's get you guys deep in the car.
So, let's get into the depth of this car. So, like I said, 2010 Camaro SS with a 6.2 liter LS3. Now, it's pretty much factory. It's got no upgrades in the engine compartment at all. I do run Royal Purple 5W30. This thing takes about 8 quarts. So, she is a big girl. She is ready to pack that punch when she needs to. GM really set themselves straight with this one. Now, the paint is Victory Red. I'm not a very big red person. My favorite color is blue. But hey, what can you do? It's a Camaro. You know what I mean? So, still got the factory wheels and factory everything except for the exhaust and a little bit in the interior. That's gonna like it. So, what I mean by the exhaust has a 2.5 to 3 inch. So the factory on this car was a 2.5. Now it is converted to 3 inch. This tip is 4.5 inches. That tip is 4.5 inches. I put a X pipe in it. I put an X pipe in this. I bought this exhaust system from a guy for about $300. I mean, you can't beat it. It was, sure, I had to retrofit a little bit myself, but hey, when it's $300 and it's a good exhaust system, you're gonna do what you got to do. Now, a little bit on the interior. The guy that had it before me, he put in a Hurst short throw shifter. Like I said, this has a 6-speed manual, so he put the short throw shifter in it. Now, I always love the short throw shifter because you can bang through gears faster, and it's really good for speed. Now, am I using this car for speed? No, I'm using this car for luxury. This is basically my daily throughout the this is my daily through spring, summer, and a little bit of fall. During winter, I have my truck with the 8.1. Now, interior is beautiful. You have the Boston speaker system, leather interior, the SS headrests. Very nice. It has a back seat. Can you really fit anybody back there? No, but it's okay. This has manual forward and back. This seat has manual forward and back, but it has automatic reclining. That is all automatic seat over there. It goes reclining forward and back, and it goes forward and back. All automatic. I mean, you cannot beat this car. This car is beautiful. I mean, look at this. Gauges are down there for oil pressure, volts, transmission temp, oil temp. You have the speed. You have the speedometer over there. Over here, you have the speedometer and the tachometer. Got your gas and your coolant. I mean, look at these rugs. They even have the SS rugs. Factory SS rugs. I mean, it is just all sorts of beautiful in here. I mean, look at this beautiful interior. When I bought this car back in July of 2022, I worked so hard to get this car. This is basically my modern dream car. Because I don't really like newer cars. I'm more of an older car kind of guy. That's why my truck is so old. That's why my motorcycle is older. But I always love working on older vehicles, newer vehicles. I like working on anything. But I got a hold of the owner, the previous owner. This is a one-person owner now. It's a two-person owner because I own it now. But I called him. I'm like, hey, give me a little history on this car. I want to know what is going on. He goes, I love that car. I hated that I had to get rid of it, but I got a newer Camaro, so there was no point in me keeping that one. I kept it in a garage most of its life. It's never seen rain. It's never seen rain, never seen salt. It's never seen snow. It's never seen hail. It's never seen nothing. I only took it, he said this, and I quote, I only took it out on sunny days when it was above 60 degrees. When it was above 60 degrees, I took it out. He had this car for 12 years, so he put about 32,000 miles on it. I put about a couple thousand miles since I owned it. I used it as a car for me getting back and forth to college. Now, when it turned a little terrible weather for snow, I used my other truck, not the 8.1. I had another truck before that, but I used that truck. Now, let's get into it. All right, so guys, let's get into it real quick. So I know I told you what I'm putting into the car, but I'm going to go into depth. So I'm putting in AC Delcos. I'm not going to go get NGKs or Champions or something else. I want to put what's factory back in. So these are actually a little bit more of an upgrade, but you know, I'm not also drag racing the car. So there's really no point in me putting anything else in it. So then I'm going to put these coils in. Like I said, it doesn't really need coils. If you're going to replace spark plugs, you might as well replace wires. And you also should just replace coils. Now, I am going to keep the other coils with me and the other wires because I want to make sure that if I ever have a problem, I can quickly swap it in and get back on the road. But these wires I got from Summit Racing. Beautiful, beautiful wires. Now, I was going to go a little crazy. I was going to get blue coils, blue spark plug wires. I was going to get blue everything I could, but that's not the color of the car, so I didn't want to go it that way. Now, the spark plugs I did get from O'Reilly's. I got these off the Amazonia. They were cheap, so, I mean, if I have problems with them, I have problems with them. I'll put a different coil on, but right now, I haven't tested them out, so I don't know what they're going to do. Then I'm going to put some Berrymans in it. I highly recommend putting Berrymans in your car. The reason why I'm putting Berrymans in it, it was sitting during the winter, and modern gas today does not do well after a month of being in there. So after a month, it begins to ferment a little bit. It's like milk, but it's not going to turn all clumpy and stuff like that. It's not going to be like that, but it is going to gunk up your injector. So you throw some Berrymans in it. Berrymans will clean it. Now, a little bit about Berrymans. Berrymans is actually a great fuel system cleaner. Great for injectors, fuel pumps, fuel filters, anything fuel system related. Berrymans is great. Now, I know you can use Seafoam, or you can use STP, or you can use any kind of fuel system cleaner you want. I highly recommend this because it is designed strictly for this. So they've tested it. It's also, it's not going to destroy your engine. It's not going to it's not going to do all these things. What it's going to do is just going to help clear up what's in it. So it's going to help clean. That's what you want, is a clean car, especially with your fuel. Your fuel's not clean, that's not good. So I'm going to put some dielectrical grease in it. It helps with the contact. It also is going to help pull, if you have to pull the wires off. It's not going to just rip it off. It's going to be better off if you put some dielectrical grease. Now, again, you don't have to do this, but that's what I highly recommend. It's always better if you do that, in my opinion. So now that we're in depth, let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's start taking it apart. Now, first thing you got to do is take off the oil cap. It's not the best design, but that's what you got to do. Take the cover off. So I'm going to go take this and put it over here. Now, make sure you put your cap back on. You don't want to get stuff in the engine while you're working on it. There. Okay, so let's start on this side. Well, you are stuck on there, aren't you? Oh, ouch. All right. There's the first wire. Wow, these are really on there. Second.
all the coils, all the wires, all the plugs in. The right side, the 2, 4, 6, and 8 cylinders, that was the hardest side. With the coils weren't the hardest, and neither were the plugs, or neither were the plug wires. But the plugs themselves were the hardest thing to get into that engine. So it's just a really tight fit. It's also really hard to get your fingers in there. So other than that, it went like a breeze. 1, 3, 5, and 7, they went in. The plugs went in, the coils went in, and the wires went in like a dream. It took me 5 minutes on this side and about 30 on this side. It was a big pain, but we got it all done. So now let's start it and see how it runs. It runs. Remember, I also put the berryments down the tank. You gotta read that can. It has specific instructions for it. So, you put down a whole can if you have a 26-gallon tank or whatever. But here's the thing: I put it in the tank because I want it to slowly clean. I just don't want to like have it just drink straight berryments. I don't want to do that. You can do that. There's no problem with that. It does work. It works just as well. But I'd much rather put it in the tank because I do not want to drain a full tank. It has a full tank. So, other than that, she runs good. You ain't bleeding, you ain't succeed. I'm Tyler. This is All Free Black Garage. Have a good one.